Literally just got back from our weekend away, and now we have got to scoot down to Ollie's parents' house because we are going for a family barbecue. So we've literally got about 15 minutes to get ready, so we need to just put some simple nice makeup on. So let's get ready because I cannot wait to eat some barbecue food. Blurring my pores with one of my favourite primers, the Cocoa Gold by the Beauty Crop. This is fantastic for literally making your pores disappear. It feels so buttery on the skin. It feels incredible. And I find it makes my makeup just look nicer. I tested out whether I prefer a poreless primer, like one that smooths the pores, or one that's a bit like tacky and grippy. And I'm definitely like a pore perfecting primer girl. Anastasia foundation balm in the shade 11. Now with this, it's a very much trust the process sort of thing, because it does look dark once it goes on, but once you blend it out, it looks gorgeous. And then blend that baby out with my Clomana sponge. I feel like I've tried being one of those girls that blends their foundation out with their fingers, and I just really don't think I can do it. It's some girls look gorgeous doing it, like they really get that nice coverage. I just can't. I end up poking myself in the eye with my nail, and it's just really not my vibe, so I stick to my sponge. Doesn't that just give the most natural coverage ever? Like you're wearing makeup but you're not wearing makeup, which is exactly what we're going for. And then just gently getting my Lancome concealer, patting it into my hand, and then just popping it over any areas where I've had bits of breakouts. I have had really bad breakouts the last week where I've been on my period, so trying to just cover that nicely. And then the tiniest dab underneath my eyes. My eyes have been a little bit sore, and I think where I've been a bit poorly, I've possibly had like an inflammatory reaction around my eyes, so they have been really sore, so I don't want to go too hard around my eyes. I kind of want to keep them a little bit clear, just because they have been really, really sore and red. And I've popped some hydrocortisone on them earlier, so probably not the best idea to stick some makeup over a steroid cream, but we'll just do a little bit just to hide those dark circles. Then taking my NARS bronzer, my cream bronzer, which is just a gorgeous shade, and lightly tapping that in with my beauty blender. I feel like that gives you the most subtle results. If you want like a heavy contour, go for a brush, but if you want a light contour, I actually tap my sponge into the pot, and I feel like that blends a lot nicer. The best lightweight blusher you will ever use in your life is the Chanel liquid blusher. Now it looks like it's got loads of little water particles in it, so when it comes out it's quite a liquidy, watery formula. So I take the other side of my beauty blender, and then can you see how it instantly comes out? And this is the shade Intense Coral, and that just gives you the most beautifully kind of subtle yet noticeable, I don't know how to explain it, subtle yet noticeable blush, but it just gives you that level of rosiness that I just absolutely love. And you can build it, but I kind of want to keep this a little bit more subtle, but it also gives you that kind of glossy look because of the water that's in it. Taking my Beauty Crop Vitamin Babe powder in the shade Pink, I'm just going to ever so slightly dab it underneath my eyes because I kind of want to go for that glossy look. I don't want to go too matte, so we want to keep the powder a little bit lighter today, which is unusual for me. I usually like to be powdered up to the high heavens, but we're going to keep it a little bit lighter today just because it is quite warm outside, it's quite hot, so I don't want to go too mad with the makeup today. Brows is the Rimmel Wonder Freeze in the shade Dark Brown. Now this is fantastic for basically making your eyebrows look like fluffier, like bushier, but without making them feel really heavy, and it also keeps them in place. Like my brows will stay like this all day without having to feel like laminated or like really kind of like tacky or clumpy. They just feel bushy, they feel lush. A tiny bit of Charlotte Tilbury mascara just to lengthen those lashes a little bit, but again we're going natural, and I feel like my Charlotte Tilbury mascara is the best for making my lashes look really natural because you don't get an inch of clumpiness on them, not one bit of clumpiness, which is my favourite to use, especially after I've had a lash lift. It is gorgeous. If you want volume, I would go for the Thrill Seeker mascara by Rimmel, that's a really good one, or Rare Beauty. But if you just want a natural kind of less volumized but just a little bit elongated of a lash, Charlotte Tilbury, she is your girl. And then my Clarins lip oil just to finish her off because she is glassy, she is glossy. I have to say the Clarins one, there isn't much pigment in them, but they don't feel tacky, which is what I love in a lip oil. They just feel really smooth and buttery. There's no like tackiness, there's no like stickiness in them, which is nice. This is in the shade, really had to look for that then, that is the shade 04, which is kind of like, it gives a kind of reddish coralish colour, but obviously it doesn't really come out with any sort of tint, but still she feels stunning. Right, we better get going because there is some ribeye, some tomahawk steak calling my name, and I cannot wait to eat it because I am starving, absolutely starving.